chemistry, Ms. Wall will even tell you, I hate life science. I was like, well, that makes sense because that's why she's over there and I'm over here. But chemistry is a physical or abiotic that focuses more on the components of life and not so much the life itself. So what's the difference in, if I say, look at the abiotic factors outside versus the biotic factors of our ecosystem? Yeah, so non-living and living. Now the difference here is if I were to do the same thing and ask the same question in the kindergarten class, they would say trees, sidewalk, air, water. And I'd say, okay, so what's the difference? You know, what's living, what's non-living? What you're going to do instead is you'll say, okay, well, the oak tree or the willow oak tree. So you're going to go more specific as biotic. And then for the abiotic, you're not going to say the air. You may say, well, it's 78% nitrogen gas and 21% oxygen. And then there's the barometric pressure of the air. You're going to talk about the humidity of it. You're not just going to talk about air. Or water, you're going to talk about the pH, its solubility. You're going to talk about its nutrient content. Is it distilled? You know, so you're going to think beyond the obvious. And that's what we have to do. Because at this point, your brain is way ready for that. And it's been ready for a while. So we're just going to keep deepening and deepening and deepening that. Okay. So with that said, we study organisms. So organisms looks like another word. So sometimes when people write it really fast, they write something else. But I'll say we're going to study organisms, and these are all living things, and they are divided and classified into three big groups. Okay. So what does it mean to be classified? If I want to classify something, put it in a group. We just have to put it in the right group. So is grouping, so the three large groups, well, classification is trying to figure out what the likes and dislikes are, and then you figure out who is the most in common, and you put them in that group. So in science, we use a lot of DNA for that. Now we use that technology. So these big groups are called domains. And so when we go back and learn taxonomy, which will be in May, actually before that, because you have an insect project that we'll talk about it before that. So you'll be collecting insects. As soon as they start to emerge, you guys will be collecting some insects, and we'll talk more about that later. But so we will talk about taxonomy, but we're going to go ahead and put it in now, so that way we can loop it back later. Okay. So three domains. They are bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. Oops. All right, so these are the three main groups, or the only groups that all the life on the planet, I don't care who you are, you're going to belong to one of those three groups. So I will teach this when we talk about taxonomy as three box stores, like the big box stores. So this would be like Walmart, Target, and Big Lots. Okay? We're just going to say those are the only three stores on the whole planet. Walmart, Target, and Big Lots. So if we were to take all the organisms, those that are microscopic and macroscopic, and we put them in one, they would have to go only in one of those stores. So that would be those. So we're going to say this was Big Lots. There are 6 kingdoms of organisms, and the kingdoms are the smaller groups that fall within these big groups. And they're going to belong to one of these. Okay, so if it's the bacteria big box store, it's going to be the eubacteria. That is the name of the kingdom. So if I ask you what are the 6 kingdoms of organisms, there's one of them, eubacteria. And eubacteria is simple life that you have more in and on your body than you have cells in your body. You share your body with lots of bacteria. So we usually think of bacteria being gross germs, but most of the bacteria that you have help you out. They kind of colonize your body as soon as you're born, and they are on your food, they're in the air, and most of them are decomposers. And they make a pheromone for you, so that's one reason your house smells a certain way, or your clothes smell at the end of the day a certain way. It's why you have BO, it might be why you have your feet might stink. It's all an old bacteria thing. Okay. All right. In fact, I tell the story that babies, when they're born, their first poop doesn't stink. Why not? They really don't.
No bacteria.
No bacteria. It's in their guts yet. They're sterile. It's kind of interesting. Okay. For archaebacteria, these are called archaebacteria. These have a root that y'all might have seen before. You know a word that has that word in it? Archaeology. Archaeologist. Okay. Ancient, right? So these are ancient bacteria. These are bacteria that were probably some of the first life on the planet, or our ancestors were. And these are, they live in extreme environments. So they live in areas where there's no oxygen. They live in very hot temperatures. They live in very acidic places. They live in, some of them make methane gas. So have you ever, you know what swamp gas smells like?
Yes.
Have you ever been in mud and you can smell the smell? Or at the beach, or if the swamp bacteria that live in there, love it. And those belong to that group or that kingdom and to that domain. So that means who's missing? All I'm seeing here is, well, can't see, but we're talking about bacteria. Who are all the other organisms on the planet? Where do we go?
Mammals.
We're mammals, but that's our class.
I forgot what it's called.
What kind of mammal?
Homo sapiens.
That's our species.
What's the difference? They go.
We're just animals, y'all. So Animalia. So we belong to the kingdom Animalia. So this would be when we. So tell me who else. I'll go back. Crap. Is that us?
Yes.
See ya. That is it.